Can I get the laughing first?
You have to turn her mic on.
It's on. Good evening, everybody. How are you? I'm so excited today. We have Sofia Davis. Who's going to be my special guest tonight. And I'm really excited to have her on board. So we'll call Sofia in a few minutes. Give it to you.
In a few minutes.
Okay, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Okay, so before we call Sofia, we're going to call Sofia and have her to come on the air. But before we do that, I want to go over a few dates that are reflective of Baltimore Fashion Week and under. Under is the petite consumer-focused event that's scheduled for April 19th, and it's going to be at Jazzy Photo Studios located in Owings Mills Mall, closest to the entrance by Macy's department store. So if you're coming to the event, you can purchase your tickets on www.undertheevent.com. And tickets are $15 now. They will be more at the door. Sorry, folks, because we need to get a swag bag count. For the little ones, for Baltimore Fashion Week, we will be doing a kids fashion segment on opening night during Fashion Week. So the casting for that will be March 22nd at 9 o'clock a.m. And I am still working on the registration form, so hopefully that will be up by the 8th of February. I'm sorry, this is not February, this is March. By the 8th of March, which is the Saturday. And did you all see the new site? Did you like the new site? It's fabulous, right? I know, I'm fabulous. And so we won't keep Sofia long because she's very busy. She probably, gave up tickets to an opera to be here. She's so fabulous. But just wait till you talk to her. She just has so much going on. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Sofia. And I have her bio here, but I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read it right now because we're going to take a brief break. And then when we come back, we'll have Sofia here. So Sofia is, maybe I should read it so I don't muff it up. Sofia Davis is the chief executive producer and owner of BTE TV Network, which stands for Beauty, Television, and Entertainment, as well as editor-in-chief of a monthly magazine called Fashion Avenue News. They cover New York, London, Paris, and Milan Fashion Week shows, as well as numerous fashion and beauty events around the world. Her show was filmed in front of a live audience as well as on location, and they give back to the community by sponsoring an annual fashion show called Fashion on the Hudson. If you've ever been or if you've never been to Fashion on the Hudson, you should go. I went last year. My first time was in 2010, and it was absolutely fabulous. It's totally free to all of the attendees, but I was on her site last week, and I'm on the wait list to get a ticket to get into her event, which isn't until July. So that only tells you how fabulous her event is because the wait list is just that long. And then she also does a New Year's Eve event. But I'll let Sofia talk about all of that. When we come back, we're going to take a quick minute break. And then when we come back, we'll have Sofia on the line, and you can call in. We'll give you the number for that in a few minutes, and you can call in to ask Sofia any questions you may have. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Sofia Davis.
You don't remember when she had Blue Ivy that Kanye was there in the room congratulating everybody, bought bottles and cigars and stuff like that. So Beyonce sent her congrats to Kim and Kanye via Facebook. Shade. Absolute shade. And she knows it. Not sure, but I believe it was her, though, and not just one of her people being polite, just saying congrats and yada, yada, yada. But why would she have to do that on Facebook? Why would she have to do that on Facebook? She can congratulate anyone. She has their phone numbers, I'm sure, maybe in one of her 5 phones. She got their number. She didn't have to do that on Facebook. I mean, I think it was one of her people just, she probably was like, put that up there, and take it down tomorrow, because we don't want that, end up on Keeping Up with the Kardashians next season. She's like, oh, I'm in labor, and didn't take her to the hospital cameras and just, well, look, Beyonce said this on Facebook. So, I was like, damn it. And Kim can't never leave me out of it. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I was saying, just like Kanye did for J&B when they had their baby, Blue Ivy, he was there for the birth. So why didn't they go, just to reciprocate and and pay, some kind of respect? Damn well that plane was still locked up in the hangar. B has a headache and she can't get on a flight nowhere. She probably had a doctor's note, all kinds of stuff. She had an excuse on why she was not going to make it to the birth of this baby. Yeah.
Right here on BeExposedRadio.com every Tuesday and Thursday starting at 7 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye. My supervisor and I have been flirting for a few weeks now, but nothing serious. He's married and outrageously sexy. Always buying me lunch on the down low and offering to do things for me. Well, on Friday, I was in my office because everyone had left, and he was in a meeting and in and out of his office. Well, he finally returned to his office and he noticed that I was there. So he came to my office and one thing led to another. And we got busy and he gave me a professional. And I loved it. Hold on to that drum roll because there's more. Easy. Well, we've been going at it now on a regular, meeting in hotels and on the weekends and staying after work and getting it together. Wendy, no one knew this until the housekeeping lady caught us. Keep that drum roll going.
Maria.
Exactly, that would be our Maria here. And she has said nothing, but I would die if people found out. His wife works with us. Keep the drum roll going. There's more. And she has no clue what's going on. The bad thing is that I'm bisexual and I've been sleeping with his wife too.
Boom!
There you go.
Wow. Beautiful. I love the world we live in. Nice world.
I'm in love with my supervisor and I need some advice. What do we do about the situation? Should I tell? Sign, Hot and Bothered. Hot and Bothered, you need to take your trifling, trampy behind back into your office. Develop a social life of your own that has nothing to do with married people or married people. I was trying to think of how to describe both of them, but they're married. Both of them are married. That has nothing to do with being with married people, because ain't no good going to come to you until you get yourself your own damn man or woman. Nothing wrong with being bisexual and all that other kind of stuff, and I understand adventurous and living on the edge. How dare you? I'm in love. How dare you? What do you want me to tell you? Stick it out, girl. In no time at all, he'll leave her, she'll leave that job, and he'll marry you. Oh, please. 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 You were unrealistic in thinking anything could come of this except for you losing your job and possibly your shirt in the process, because your reputation. That's all we got. Our privates and our reputation.
How you doing?
Well, let me just review what she's asking me. I'm in love with my supervisor. Okay, they had sex for the first time on Friday. But they've been doing the do on one Friday, excuse me. Well, they've been doing the do. You're not, fall out of love now. Leave both of them alone now before Maria starts talking.
Okay, so this is Sharon, and I'm back. And thank you for tuning in to the Sharan Nixon Show. We have Sofia Davis, the fabulous Sofia Davis on the line. So I know you all have millions of questions, like how does she do a magazine and how she's so fabulous. So let me give you her number, not her number, but the number to call us. It's 877-835-5857, extension 1. Or you can text us at 443-642-9403. So, Sophia,
Thank you for having me, Sharon. I appreciate being on the show.
Oh, thank you for coming. I had to have you on my very first show because you're so, you're like my mentor mom. So let me tell you how.
Thank you.
Let me tell you how Sofia and I met. When I first went out, but I guess 2 years or 3 years after I started Fashion Week, I met a gentleman who named William Michael Reed, who introduced me to Sofia. And when Sofia and I met, we just immediately clicked. She took me under her wing and, helped me so I wouldn't fall, as she called it earlier. I called it, she just ripped me a good one, which was good. Sometimes you need that in business with someone who's more experienced or seasoned than you are, especially in the arena that I'm in. You need someone to kind of sort of mold you so that you won't make huge mistakes. And Sofia was very instrumental in kind of sort of taking me by my hand, and plus she was also a huge part in me bridging the gap, or trying to bridge the gap between New York and Baltimore. So I'm not sure if I really accomplished that, but at any rate, when I go to New York and I go to her events, they know who I am, and when she comes here, they know who she is. So the bridge it's closing, yay! So we're going to talk. So Sofia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I've, been a fashion forever. That's why I think people see me as a kind of seasoned person. I always liked fashion. Even when I was small, I used to always, get into things, perfume and lipstick and all that kind of stuff. And I never was, one of those kids that, looked at cooking and all that, so I can't cook. As I grew up, I went to, FIT. I graduated with a degree of fashion design. And on, the road there, what I did is I was director of models at the Apollo Theater for 9 years. And I had to, get 15 models together. I had to get them dressed. I had to get a makeup artist, hairstylist, all of those type of things. And it was a really good learning experience for me because I made a lot of mistakes at that time because, I didn't have anyone to tell me, okay, this is right, this is wrong, or whatever. And I learned from that. So I felt like, if there was anyone out there that really was into fashion, really wanted to do this, that I would always be willing to help or give information to that person. And, that's kind of what I've always done. I mean, I freely give my information. Some people charge, they do seminars and stuff like that. And I have no problem with that, with people doing that. But I've always been someone to give free information, just tell you how to do it, help you along, show you, what I know, the best way I know how to do something, and to do it in a professional manner. See, that's the difference.
Right. So you were really good when I met with you to, well, I'm not going to say I didn't have it, but you molded me in the right direction that I needed to go. Because, I always say that New York they're the grandparents of fashion. And so it was key to me when I met with you that I made sure that with my event that we try to, we'll never be New York. That's just it. But, at least the production stages that we do to gear up to our events that we do, whether it's a fundraiser or a reception dinner, a reception awards dinner, that we also keep a professional outlook on what we do. So another event that you do on a regular that I absolutely love, although it's hot, but I still love it, is Fashion on the Hudson. And is this your 6th year?
Well, it's the 6th year at this location.
Okay.
Actually, Fashion on the Hudson has been going on. It wasn't called Fashion on the Hudson when it started, but it's been going on since 1999, I think, when we first did the first one.
Wow.
And it was called 7th on 125th at that time because, we used to go to 125th. We had that whole plaza in front of the State Building, had a 100-foot runway, and we had so many people that by the time, 2007 came, we had stopped traffic, and we caused a traffic jam, and it was like a riot. Not a riot, a real riot, but, it was just too many people. The cops came and everything, and the cops were enjoying the show. They were like, we don't care. Just when you don't hurt nobody, just go ahead. But we stop traffic, like to people in the street. So that's how we got, kind of kicked out. The man was like, you don't have too many people. It's like, you got 2,000 people here. And that's how we wind up at Fashion on the Hudson, because we had to find another place, and that's how it's remained. But again, it's been 6 years at this place, Fashion on the Hudson. The purpose of the show is to give designers an opportunity to connect to the public, because a lot of designers, they do not do, multiple garments and sizes because they don't have a store. They don't sell in a store, so they might do one of a kind, or they may do 3 or 4 garments, but it's an opportunity to connect to your client right there. Someone can see something on the runway and say, I want that, and can buy right from the designer. And that's kind of the purpose.
Right.
One of the things that I think is really good about Fashion on the Hudson is it gets recognition from people like Zhang Toy, who was a Mercedes-Benz designer. He came up, he showed 20 pieces at Fashion on the Hudson, and this is a man that charges $30,000 just to show up somewhere. Wow. And he didn't charge us a dime. He bought his top models. He had 10 top models. I'm sorry, he had 19 top models, and we put one model in his segment. And he bought 20 garments. His dresses started $10,000. But I say that not so much to brag about what he does or the money that his garments cost, but to show people that Fashion on the Hudson is a force to be reckoned with. People from Mercedes-Benz will come up and do a show in Harlem and not get paid. That says something about the show, which I think is very good.
Yes, it does. So I didn't know all of that. That's fabulous. That is,
thank you.
You are a force to be reckoned with, and I'm sitting here, and like I informed you before we went live on the air, said I went to the site to get my ticket, and I noticed that I'm on a wait list, and I thought that was so cute. Although nobody wants to be on the wait list, but I just love it when that happens, especially for you. That says a lot for you and your marketing. That for you to pull 10,000 registrations just off of Eventbrite alone, that speaks volumes for your marketing tactics. And then you're also a media sponsor for Malaysia World Fashion Week and African Fashion Week. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, well, what happened is, the word gets out about what we're doing, and people see the magazine. And I think when they see it, when they finally have it in their hand, they're like, wow, this, the paper is different. It's not like that thin tissue paper magazine. It's more like a coffee table type magazine. Right. Very luxe. It feels good in your hands. People like it. And we've got editors around the world. We've got editors in Germany, Lithuania. We have editors in London, South Africa. And these are all people that, I've either worked on before I actually went to print, or have developed relationships along the way. And, they see what we're doing, they want to come on board. So African Fashion Week London, they sent us a, media package, asked us to be, media sponsor. Malaysia, they sent us a nice package. They asked us to be, media sponsors for them because they see the magazine. They've gotten the magazine. They've looked at it. They like what they see. They like what we're doing. And we're very proud to be media sponsors for these type of events, especially when they're contacting us.
Right.
So that really, I think, it says a lot about the magazine, and it should also encourage other people that are out there with magazines, whether it's digital or print, to continue. Don't stop right now. Sometimes it gets a little rough, but don't stop because you can do it.
And your publication's been in print for how long?
Just 2.5 years.
Oh, Jess. Okay.
And, I'm proud of it because, we've never missed an issue. We've never been late with an issue. You know what I mean? Where we didn't print or we didn't go to print. And so it feels good when every month I do it as if it's my first issue ever. I'm excited about it all the time. And, I think that that's important.
I know in your media shots that you always have your magazine front and center in every every shoot that you do. When I see it on Facebook or when you're tweeting about it and I see the picture, you always have your magazine right there for constant branding. And I think that's awesome.
Well, that's a very inexpensive way, almost free way to kind of brand yourself or get someone to know the magazine is to constantly talk about your product. But when you do it, make sure you have a good product to talk about. If you're going to have something, don't have something you have to hide. My magazine is a high-end luxe. We do high-end stuff, even emerging designers. In other words, we don't do anything that, like, negative news. We don't do anything that we couldn't show a child. So all of our stuff is high-end. And the reason I'm always there with that magazine is because when people see it and they see me with that magazine, they see the picture, they're like, that's Sofia. Because as soon as they touch it, they want to buy a copy.
Well, if you want to text Sofia a question, you can send us a text at 443-642-9403. Or if you want to give us a call and ask Sofia a question yourself, you can dial us at 855-835-5857, extension 1. And so, Sofia, I want to talk about an event that unfortunately I won't be able to make this year, is Paris Fashion Week. You told me about this. You told me about this in October, and I'm like, no, Sofia, no. And I'm really excited that you're going, and I can't wait to see the images that you shoot. Is Allison's probably going with you, so I'm quite sure the images will be fabulous. Could you tell the listeners a little bit about Black Paris Fashion Week?
Well, one of the things that's exciting about Black Paris Fashion Week is when you go to Paris, they really do fashion. Like, you can't just, wake up and say I'm a designer in Paris. You can't. Like, you could do it here in New York. You could start sewing and say I'm a designer. You can't do that in Paris. You have to have real talent. You have to have real clothes. I mean, your stuff has to be finished. It has to be sewn, all of that. They get the best. When I tell you the best for Black Paris Fashion Week. And, I decided this year I'm going to go. I wanted to support them. I wanted to connect with them. We have an editor in Paris that goes all the time, and she actually works for Louis Vuitton, so she goes to regular Mercedes-Benz Paris Fashion Week, and she goes to Black Paris Fashion Week. So I'm a networker. I wanted to go, and I'll go anywhere. I'll get on a plane in a second. So I said, I'm going. And I just said I'm going, and I just told a friend, I'm going to Black Paris Fashion Week. It's in October, so I'm going to go. Just like that, just talking in general. And she looked at me and she said, you're going? I want to go. I said, sure, come on. Next thing you know, we have 16 confirmed people that have already paid that are going to, just because I said, okay, I'm going. But the good thing about that is these people can make connections. The designers can connect with people. They can connect with just networking, out there and being able to go to a place and know someone the next time they go. So they don't have to wait on anyone. Sometimes people want friends to go with and stuff like that. And I think that's a wonderful thing to have 16 people that say, I'm going to Black Paris Fashion Week. They're going to learn a lot, they're going to see a lot, and they're going to see some real fashion over there.
So is this something that you'll do every year from moving forward?
Yes, every year I think I'm going to do this. I think it's great. It's educational as well because, again, you're networking. Designers can come over and they can share what they know here in New York because in Paris they do things differently. So, each person can learn from each person. And I hope that I can do like you have, bridge a gap, build a bridge between Paris and New York in the sense of maybe they'll come over and they'll do a fashion on the Hudson or,
that would be cool.
Something like that with us, which I think would be great.
I think that's awesome. And I'm quite sure you being the person you are, that will happen for Fashion on the Hudson for 2015. So I'll just wait to see which designer comes.
It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing.
Stuff happen.
It's going to be a wonderful thing, and I think that, we're going to grow as we go. We'll meet more people, and I think that would be amazing.
Well, let's move. I know we should take a break, but I really don't want to because, because it's my show and I can do what I want. So let's talk a little bit about the designer competition. I went to one, I believe it was in 2010. I went to a designer competition, which was really cool. But now you're doing a model competition in 2015. So could you, with a grand prize winning of $5,000 cash. So could you tell us what the criteria is for the designer and especially the model competition?
Okay, well, what I usually do when I develop criteria is I get my staff together. I have about 12 people on staff, and we all sit down, and, most of them, I would say, all of them really are in fashion in one way or another, whether they're photographers or jewelry designers, accessory editors, fashion editors, and we sit down and we develop a criteria. The criteria is really high because we have a seasoned designer come in and check each garment. So all of the judges check the garments. The criteria is, one, it has to be wearable. It has to be something you can wear. It can be outlandish. It can be fabulous. It can be over the top, but you have to be able to wear it. So that's one thing. Two, it has the construction of the garment is where you get your points. The construction. And that's very important because something can look fabulous outside, and inside is nothing. So we turn that garment inside out. You cannot have strings hanging, things like that.
Right.
So they don't have to have any kind of degree or anything. They can sew out of their homes. It's not like, you have to have an education here or there or anything like that. The garment construction is your main thing, that construction, wearability. And we don't per se say they have to be in a season when we do the competition because it is that a competition. Right. So they don't have to, be for winter or spring, summer or anything like that. We also ask them questions. And a lot of people, I don't know if anyone saw the video, but a lot of designers were not able to answer the questions. And they were just general fashion questions that, the average fashionist would know. But they didn't know the questions were coming. And I think you were at the 2010 show when I did that to them before.
Well, you did.
They didn't know the questions were coming.
But we have a caller. I can't believe it. So we have a caller, Sophia.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Caller, your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Kevin from Virginia. I had a question for Sophia.
Okay.
Kevin, Sophia.
Kevin, how are you?
I'm fine. My question is, if you're in a small market area as a model and people are putting on continuous fashion shows that you don't feel are up to par, how do you choose those fashion shows? How do you choose the good ones over the bad ones to propel yourself in a better light to become a good model?
Well, I think, first of all, what I would do if I was a model, I would go to the show to see how it's conducted. That's the first thing. Know if the show start on time. I just buy a ticket and go. Because that way you can observe, how they're doing the show. Ooh. How do they treat the people when they come up to the door? Are they nasty? Are they mean? Are they, And then see how the models are treated. Are the models just, running around? Are they just picking anyone? I think that would be the first thing that would be helpful. And if you find that, okay, they do the show well and things like that, even though it's a small market, I would try to to develop my personality on the runway, my walk, develop all of that. And you will stand out amongst everyone else. And you don't know who is in that audience. That's one of the things I tell models all the time. Always walk with your A game. You don't know who you're talking to or who could be in that audience to help take you to another level. Was that helpful?
That is very helpful. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for calling, Kevin, the caller. Yay. So now
thank you.
You were talking about the designer competition. Now, can you talk a little bit about what you're expecting since, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is new for 2015, the model competition.
Yes, for the model competition, the reason, my staff and I kind of came up with that idea was because, there are a lot of models out here, and I see that they're good. A lot of them are very good. It's just that they don't have the financial footing. They don't have the proper lookbook. They don't have the proper portfolio. They don't have the money to go maybe somewhere else and audition. You know, it's just, most of it comes down to not having the funds to do certain things. I thought that if I put a $5,000 cash prize in their hand and they are serious about their career, that's at least a springboard. It's a stepping stone so that they have something in their hand where they can hire a good photographer, hire a good stylist, put all of that together, put together a good book, you know, a good look, all of that, the right comp cards. Because when a model does not have these things, when they come somewhere, like say if you come to New York, even to my audition, and you don't have the proper comp card, I can pick that card up and feel it, because I see it in a many Mercedes-Benz auditions, and I see exactly what they do to the models. And, you know, the models really, really should have everything together. But I would hope that the model would take that $5,000 and perhaps, you know, get the things that she needs. Let it be, you know, like a cushion for her.
So are you
started?
So are you going to follow their progress to make sure that they do the right thing with the $5,000? Because I was going to say something, but maybe, I'm going to say it. You know, you give them out of the $5,000 and then they portray that they're going to do all this and that, and then they don't do anything with it but spend it and buy clothes, and they're right back to where they started from before they even enter the competition. Are you going to be, is there a way that you can police that?
Well, one of the things I don't want to police it per se, because in the process of taking the model, we're not just taking the model because they might have an entry fee. You see, a lot of people do that because their whole thing is about making money. Sure, we have to make money because we have to pay for things, but that's not the only criteria. We want models to come to us that are really professional. You can look and see if a model's been working. You can look and see if a model's been trying by what she presents, by the shows she does, by whether or not she has a book. Even if she doesn't have the money to get maybe a top-notch, you know, leather case or whatever it is, you can look at her pictures and see whether or not she's invested in herself. So to me, just because you have the entry fee, that doesn't mean you get into the competition. I would rather have quality models than have the quantity, you know, just because someone can pay the fee. I don't think, you know, that, you know, they should be let in for that.
Well, Sophia, I don't want you to go anywhere, but we got to pay some bills. They're looking at me crazy with 15,000 eyes because I said I'm going to do what I want. I guess I can't because we got to pay bills. So if you can hold on, I'd love for you to stay on and continue the call or the interview. And we want everybody to write down this number before we go to break, 443-642-9403, to text or call us at 877-835-5857, extension 1. And we'll be back in a few minutes with Sophia Davis, and she'll continue to tell us about her walk in fashion.
I'm here.
I mean, no one
so
many calories in McDonald's food. Oh, I just hate that I love the fries. It really is a lot of calories in that food. Jeesh. But I do love the grilled chicken Caesar salad from McDonald's. I have that multiple times per week, and according to my diet and the reduction of my, I told you about this last week that, you know, the doctor told me I had high blood pressure and I needed to bring it down. So I changed everything except for my occasional McDouble. I do like those as well. It's not halal meat. It's just good, tasty. And I like the McChicken sandwich, of course. But that gristle that sometimes be in that that gristle that be in that McChicken sandwich sometimes throws me for a loop. Is this a kangaroo knuckle? You know the rumors that, you know, the meat from McDonald's is made with kangaroo. Oh, I knocked the trash can over. Okay, I get it. Can you hit the button, please? It's time for a break. Sheesh.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Williams rocking your station, dropping hits across the whole nation. You catch this flashback?
Mary J. Blige has an alter ego. When she raps, her name is Brooke. So the calm one rapping is Mary. The wild one is Brooke. That's what Beyonce says. The calm one is Beyonce. The wild one is Sasha. The calm one is Wendy. The man is Woody. And I just learned today that the Woody button is broken. Can you please just try it one more time?
1, 2. Whoa. Put me down or I'll create another character. Don't F with me. Let's play with the machine and see if we can make another character. I have to think of a name. Oh, this character's name is Bambi. She's very blonde and very busty. Play with the buttons. Let's see who else comes up. Turn the dial. Turn the dial. This is Bambi and Woody all in one. Oh boy. I hear Bambi, I hear Woody. I hear Bambi, I hear...
So we're back, and we're back with Sofia, and I'm just really excited that she's on the phone. So we're going to talk about models, because anyone who knows me knows that I deal with a lot of models. That we increased, or I don't know, I guess it's increased the model height for Fashion Week, for Baltimore Fashion Week. The models have to be 5'9", unless you were already considered an N from 2013. So I was talking to Sofia about the models and the height that's required for New York, because we wouldn't be able to have a show I don't think we would be able to have a show if I took the height to 5'10". So 5'9" is where we're leaving it, and Sofia's okay with that, so I'm good. And so then we talked a little bit about under for the petite models that are shorter. So Sofia, what's your take on all of that?
Well, first, let me say about under. I absolutely love the fact that you've done under, because there are a lot of models out there that are fabulous, but they don't get the opportunity, because as soon as someone looks at them, they say, oh, they're short models, they're short. So you doing under is giving them such an opportunity that it's amazing. So I'm so, thankful to you for doing that. That's amazing, Sharon.
Oh, thank you.
Really good. So I'm looking forward to that show, because I want to be in the front row there.
Well, anything I have, you always have a front row. You and your team.
Oh, thank you.
You in the front row with your iPad, and then your team in the pit.
Thank you. As for the model being 5'10", the reason they do that, a lot of, short girls say, oh, yeah, but I could walk just as well as her. It's not that. It's not that you can't walk. It's not that they don't like you because you're short. It's, if you're doing a professional show, everything needs to be uniform. Everybody has to be the same height and basically the same weight, because if you have 10 models and 2 models don't show up, anyone can wear the garment. Now, if you're 5'2", and the garment is for somebody 5'10", somebody's not going to be able to wear the garment. Right. So that is the reason that they do this. It is not a discriminatory thing. A lot of models get upset. It's not that they don't like you because you're short. What they're trying to do is uniform everything so that anybody can fit the garment. Any one of those models should be able to fit it. If you put a plus-size girl there and you have a straight-size girl, the thing is that plus-size may not fit in a straight-size garment if somebody doesn't show up. So these are the reasons why they go for the 5'10", 110 pounds, under 35 hip, models. Just so the other models understand that it's not anything against them. And I say that because we had a wonderful young lady on our cover in 2012 of September, on our Fashion Week cover. And this lady, this young girl, was 4'9". But if you saw her, you would never think she was 4'9". Her name is Ashley Rose. And
is that the one I met doing Fashion of the Hudson last year?
I think you did meet her.
Okay.
And she, that magazine sold like crazy. That dress she had on was amazing, but no one would know that she was that short. So one of the things I think short models need to understand, there are a lot of opportunities. They may not always be on the runway,
Right.
but there are a lot of opportunities in print and commercials. So they have, they have other options that they can look at. Now, if you're working with a designer, and that designer can get, say, 4 girls approximately the same height, like, say, 5'6", then, that would be uniform, so you could have some short girls. So designers might want to consider, putting, like, maybe 4 short girls and maybe the rest tall girls, just if they want to give shorter people opportunity. Because some of these short girls, a lot of them, they have very, very excellent walks.
Yeah, they do. That's why one of the reasons why I started under, because they would always come out to the castings for Baltimore Fashion Week, but they were just too short, and so I said, okay, I'll do something for them. It took me 6 years or 5 years to get the idea together, but I finally got it. But we got a text, we received a text, and the text says, how do models in Virginia or New York get featured? Now, I don't know if it's I'm assuming that it's for Fashion Avenue News. I'm not really sure.
Okay, well, one of the things that we do,
I'm not sure if you can text us back to complete the thought, because it's kind of vague and we don't know exactly what you're referring to.
Well, I'll answer as if they were asking for the magazine, because we've, we use quite a few models on our covers that are just local young ladies that are working their way up. And I think that that's wonderful, because that is the whole purpose of the magazine, is to give emerging and established designers, models, and fashion talent a platform. One of the ways they can be featured, we have a submission page, but now we put into place, we've got our staff together, and we have about 12 people on staff, and we have a director of photography, Joe Clark, of Runway News. He also works, Runway News, and he works Fashion Avenue News, and he's our director of photography. So what we do is we have anyone that's like domestic to submit, they can submit directly to him, or they can go to the submission page, and then they can submit. But when they submitted the submission page, what we do is we sit down and we look at the photos that they have submitted. Because one, it's a whole thing on the website that tells you what the criteria are. And one of them is that you can't have writing. A lot of models get the pictures from photographers, and, the photographer puts his stamp on it, which is fine for him. But if you're submitting, you can't submit something like that to a magazine. It has to be high-res. A lot of models don't realize that sometimes the photographer will give you a low-res photo because you're just going to use it on a website, so you really don't need a high-res. So, they'll send that. And then they have to have the permission. That means they have to, when they submit, they are saying, I have the permission to have this published and this and that. And then the whole thing is on the website. But now that we have a, director of photography in place, Joe Clark helping, it helps to filter just a bit more of, how people submit photos. Because we want clean shots. We want to put the models in a beautiful light, just like a Vogue or a W magazine. Right. We want the models to look beautiful. We want you to be able to show it to your mother and not be embarrassed. So this is why we have these criteria in place. And it's been working out quite well.
So do you think the magazine will ever make it to Baltimore to be purchased?
So that to be purchased, like
yes.
The magazine? Oh, yes. We are working on a lot of things. We have, internationally is our strongest, that's where we really sell, is international for some reason. And I think it's because over there, those people worship magazines. They will go out and spend $500 on magazines. Yeah. Like, we go out and spend $500 on makeup. They'll spend $500 on magazines. America, I don't think, has gotten to that level yet, but I do think that one of the things that's important is if a model is featured, it is extremely important for her to get the magazine so she can have a physical tear sheet.
Right.
Because when you're on a a website or web magazine, I think that's also very well and nice. But once they take that down, you have no way of showing or proving that you actually were on that site. So with a tear sheet, a physical tear sheet, the model has something she can put in her book. So that when she goes to agency, the first question they ask, so what have you been doing? She can say, I was in Fashion Avenue's magazine. I've been in a magazine. So she can say something. Because that's the whole point of the magazine, is to give them that platform.
And speaking of cosmetics internationally, before we do that, we're going to open the lines again. Phone number 877-835-5857, extension 1. Is it 85? Okay, here we go. Phone number, is 855-835-5857, extension 1, or you can text us. And if you text us, can you complete your thought so that we can know exactly where the question is directed? Text number is 443-642-9403. And Sophie, to be featured in BFW. Oh, okay. So the question that was originally asked was, how do models in Virginia and New York get featured in Baltimore Fashion Week and Fashion Avenue News or any magazine that you work with? I guess you, Sophia, because I have 2 magazines. But I can talk about Baltimore Fashion Week since I produce it. In order for you to be in Baltimore Fashion Week, you have to be 5'9", and you must have a clean walk. You must be secure in your walk. I don't look at applications or pictures before the actual audition. I don't like to do that, to prejudge individuals before they walk, because the only thing I'm worrying about is that when you come to my auditions, when you come to my castings, is that you have on, you're looking like a model. If that means you're 18 or 20, you have on the proper undergarments and you're looking like a model. If you're going to be a model, you have to be a model 24/7. So that does not mean that you should come to a casting with a lot of makeup on your face. When you come to the fitting for the designers, they do not want to see all that. We don't require makeup. Your face, if you wear makeup, it must be very natural and very minimal, and your hair must be pulled back. And the reason why you have your hair pulled back is so the designers, when they're selecting you, they can see your face. They can see the makeup of your face. It's not about your hair. It's not about your clothes. I'm worrying about if you can walk a professional walk, because if you can't be in Fashion Week, because I don't do training and I don't have time for it. So I hope that helped to answer the question. I'm supposed to give. Oh, and I need to give a shout out to Be Exposed Radio and the Sharan Nixon Show. Hey, what's those? It's more to that. Okay, there's more to this, and I didn't read it. Oh, hello, Sophia. This is Mr. Geeks. I wanted to ask you if you knew of any ideas for a clothing designer. Wait a minute, I got to unlock my phone. That's for you. If you knew of any ideas for a clothing designer who has a T-shirt brand. I know it's not a high-end brand yet, but I just wanted to know if you had any steps. Also, shout out to Be Exposed and the Sharan Nixon Show. So that's how that went. But Sophia, that question was for you. If you knew of any, I guess, T-shirt brands or clothing designers that make T-shirts.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things that I think is good is, one, to constantly get out there. And if there's a magazine that, say, does that type of thing, why not contact that magazine and say, listen, I have a T-shirt line, and it's available for press pulls. And that magazine can, say, oh, great, we'll do that, and, they'll pull the clothes and do an editorial or something on you. But that's what I would do. I would reach out to all of them. Then I would also reach out to, if it's an urban line and it's like in the rap area or something like that, you can reach out to either local rappers, radio stations, record companies, and offer your garments so that they can wear them. Once people see someone in them, then that helps a lot. Once they see, and it doesn't have to be someone famous per se, but it can be an up-and-coming new person. Yeah. And it starts a trend. So that, I think, is one way to get started. And it's not so much that we would not feature a T-shirt. It's all the way it's done. When we say high-end, it doesn't mean, the clothes have to cost $1 million. That's not what we're saying. We're saying high-end in the sense of what we want to do is we want to keep the magazine clean. We want you to be able to open it on the train or the bus. We don't do anything, that's, kind of off-center, so to speak. Because as a, editor-in-chief and publisher of the magazine, to grow it, it has to be something that people want to look at.
Right. Which means that when you present it to, if you're sending in images, that it needs to be a complete, it needs to be a complete look, not just a T-shirt.
Exactly. And the thing is, you just want it clean, because when you go to advertisers, they look at the whole thing, and then they look at, okay, well, who is your target market? And if your target market is not close to who their target market is, they're not going to invest, because they're just, you're not hitting their market. Most people like to hit that luxury market because those people spend money. And when I say those people, it's us too. All of us are those people. All of us are luxury people that spend money. We buy things. We spend more money than a lot of other communities on, hair, makeup, all types of fashion.
So Texter, I hope that, Mr. Geeks, I hope your question was answered. But Sophia, we don't have long on the air, and I wanted to ask a question, not a question, but I wanted you to talk a little bit about Vera Moore, who's in Duane Reade in New York, and she's also internationally now. Can you tell us a little bit about your friend? And I've met her a couple of times. She's really cool, everybody. She's really cool. So if you could, this is a two-part question. Talk about Vera Moore, and then I would like to invite you to Baltimore to talk to whomever wants to hear you speak about the fashion industry and how to get ahead or to place your mark in New York.
I would love to come. Just let me know what day. And about Vera Moore, before I do that, I just want to say one thing. When you were talking about the models, coming for the audition and knowing how to walk and being clean, pulling your hair back, and like you said, you don't have time to train them, I would suggest that models invest that type of money in training. Get trained. Know what it takes to go on an audition. Because, just like you said, you're too busy to train them. So if they don't come correct, you're not going to give them the opportunity. But the thing is, a lot of them don't know what coming correct is.
Right.
They don't know how to go on an audition. So, unfortunately,
now I feel bad. Now I feel like I need to help them out. All right, I'll help you out. One time.
Sometimes, we have to help them. And I just want to throw in real quick that we have an open house once a month, every third Thursday, once a month. And a young lady came in. She was plus size. She was a nice-looking girl. Her pictures were horrible. Okay, now, I would have just said no and let her go. And she would never know. She just wouldn't know. Somebody had to tell her. So I said to her, I said, listen, let me explain to you. And I told her, in a nice way, not in a bad way to hurt her feelings, but so she would understand that if she went anywhere else and presented this, they would laugh her out of town.
Yeah.
But I took a moment and said, look, this is what you need, honey. This is the reason you can't take this around. And this is why this and that. So I'm just saying, I know that you think that the model should come correct, but some of them, they don't know how. So keep that in mind when you're tapping them.
Okay, so you heard it directly, so I guess I'll be training. So, Captain Higgins, if you're listening, I need an alternate date for Virginia when I come on the 4th of April. Or the 5th. Is it the 5th or the 4th? Whatever. When I come here in April, so find me an alternate date.
Okay. And now about Vera. Vera Moore has been my friend and client for many, many years. Well, she's been my friend for many years. She became my client once we, I had the TV show, and then I have the magazine. And she is an amazing woman. She was a soap opera star before she was actually a cosmetic queen. Oh, wow. And she developed her makeup because when she was on Another World as Linda Metcalf, they didn't have makeup to fit her. I mean, she looked great, she looked this, she looked that, so she developed a more. And she was the first African-American person in Green Acres Mall in Long Island. She's an opera singer, trained opera singer. She traveled the world. She was on Broadway. A lot of people don't know that about her. And now she has this wonderful cosmetic line in 53 stores, the Rain Reading Wall Green, and she's in the south of France. She's working on Dubai. It's a lot of things that she's working on, and she gives people many opportunities. So she's really, if people can support and go buy her brand, it's really good because she is a person you can touch. It's not like some supermodel or somebody you can't see or you can't call up on the phone. I mean, she's a real person you can call, and, she'll talk to you.
And that's true because I met her at the last Fashion of the Hudson last year, and she was really, really down to earth, sitting with everybody, not on some high pedestal. She's really nice people, and the makeup is nice. The lip
makeup is nice, and it doesn't come off on your clothes.
No, it doesn't.
So that's a good thing.
So Sophia,
and I know that you guys are going to be wrapping up. But before that, I just wanted to do a little shout out to my staff because without that staff, I could not do what I do. So I know I don't have time to say everybody's name, but I just want to thank my staff that stick with me through thick and thin.
Well, thank you, Sophia, for coming. And I'm just so glad you were my first guest on the Sharan Nixon Show, and hopefully you'll come back. And then you'll come to Baltimore, and we'll see you, hopefully, at Under, front row.
Oh, yes. Thank you. And thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
So I just want to thank everyone once again for listening to the Sharan Nixon Show. Tomorrow we have Let's Talk with Denard Covington, and then on Thursday we have the Lady O Show, same time, 8 o'clock. And I will be back next Tuesday with Marquise Clanton, who's the Voguer of the Century. This should be really, really cool. I'm really excited. So he'll be here next week, and thank you for Be Exposed Radio. And Talk Lately show comes on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m. So you get to get Lord Jesus, you get the gossip from Horny, and then you get the real stuff from everybody else. So you keep it real, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.